with evidence. Now we're going to hear from the Assistant District Attorney the information that was contained within that warrant.
Your Honor, officers indicate that on May the 4th that they were assigned to investigate the case of a missing, possibly kidnapped 4-year-old child, complainant Maleah Davis. In the course of conducting that investigation, officers conducted a recorded interview with the defendant, Darian Vence, in which he stated that on Friday, May the 3rd, that he had left his apartment with the 4-year-old, his 2-year-old son, and that the three of them had gotten into his girlfriend's silver Nissan Altima, and that at some point while he was driving with the 2 children that he pulled over to check on the tire of the vehicle after he hit a bump when another vehicle pulled up behind him, and he stated that he was kidnapped by a group of Hispanic males in that truck, received a blow to his head, and said that he didn't see the car that he was driving again, and that he said that he passed out and woke up on the following evening at an unknown location on Highway 6 near Sugar Land.
Every step of the search for Maleah since she was last seen 4 weeks ago. Good afternoon, I'm Lauren Freeman, in for Christine.
And I'm Keith Garvin. This all started on May 3rd when the 4-year-old girl was last seen in the area of East Tex Freeway and Greens Road. Today, the search expanded to the area of Hope, Arkansas, where community activist Quanell X says the ex-fiance of Maleah's mother confessed to leaving her body. And in the past hour, we learned from law enforcement there that remains were found during the search.
We have live team coverage on all these breaking developments. We begin with Mario Diaz, who has the latest now on this new discovery. Mario?
Yeah, Lauren, this investigation has had a lot of moving parts on this day, and it began here in downtown Houston after a meeting between Quanell X and the former fiance in this case. Then it shifted immediately more than 320 miles away from here to Hope, Arkansas, where in the last few hours, investigators up there did make a discovery of remains inside of a bag. Channel 2 investigates, confirming this with a senior member of law enforcement who indicated that, yes, there has been remains found near a location in Hope, Arkansas, inside of a black bag. That last bit of information there, pivotal, because that is part of this investigation here, was a questionable bag from the very beginning with the disappearance of Maleah Davis. Now, how did this all happen? It occurred this morning off of a tip, a meeting between Quanell X and Darian Vence here at the jail cell, and it was during that meeting where this information came to light. Investigators from here in Houston went directly up to Arkansas. Investigators there worked the scene as well. That discovery was made again in the last few hours, and officials there in the last few minutes held a news conference to discuss what they have found thus far.
And then we were notified by a interstate cleanup crew, road crew, that they may have possibly found a black garbage bag here emitting a foul odor. And that's why we're here at this particular time here at Exit 18 here in Fulton. State Police Company CCID unit is on scene. They're handling the evidence. And we have 2 agents from the FBI present. And we're hoping to make some kind of determination here in the next little bit.
And again, this news conference happened here in the last 45 minutes. And what's interesting to point out as well is that it happened during a time in which you had investigators from HPD and Texas EquiSearch heading up on a chartered flight to that area of Hope, Arkansas, to assist in the investigation and now to assist into the determination as to exactly what remains are inside of the bag that has been discovered. Reporting live in downtown Houston, Mario Diaz, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Hello guys, so today I'm going to be talking about the death of missing Texas girl Maleah Davis 4, and her death was ruled a homicide. Now it says Davis, who disappeared in early May, died as a result of homicidal violence. The Harris County Institute of Forensic Sciences announced Friday the little girl's remains were found in the trash bag along an Arkansas highway on May 31st. Look how cute she is. So cute. Okay, so it says the suspect Darian Vince, 27, remains jailed on a charge of tampering with evidence, namely a corpse and Davis' disappearance. It's unclear whether the new findings will lead to additional charges against the defendant. Now, it says here, all the evidence will ultimately be presented to the grand jury to determine what charges are appropriate. The appropriate charge would be either the death penalty or life in jail, to me. Now, Vince, the ex-fiance of Maleah's mother, reported the young girl missing. Let me say that again. Vince, the ex-fiance of Maleah's mother, reported the young girl missing on May 4th, telling police she was kidnapped during an alleged carjacking in Houston suburb of Sugar Land, as he and Maleah and his then 1-year-old son that he shares with Maleah's mom headed to the airport to pick Maleah's mom up. Vince claimed that they were ambushed by 3 Latino men. So he made up a whole story. That story even sounds crazy. He told the police he was knocked unconscious during the assault and awoke to find his car and the little girl missing. Well, they pretty much found out that his story had a whole bunch of holes in it, and they knew that something wasn't right. Now it says investigators said a search of the family's apartment turned up traces of Davis' blood. It was Houston activist Quanell X who gleaned the confession from Vince about where he dumped the girl's remains, bringing the desperate month-long search for Davis to a grim close. So he had them out here looking for months, and he knew where that little girl was all the time. That's really sad. And he's saying that Maleah's death was an accident, and revealed that he pulled over in Arkansas, got out of the car, walked off the side of the road, and dumped her body off the side of the road. So if you're saying it was an accident, why would you go dump her body off the side of the road? That's guilt right there. Now it says David Chalkvant, an inmate who was housed at the same facility as Vince, claimed that the suspect had confessed to him first, revealing Maleah's manner of death. He said she was sitting on his lap and he tossed her off and she hit her head. Now, Art Ace Vendo said authorities are still working with witnesses, doctors, and other experts to determine exactly what happened to the little girl. They said Davis was laid to rest during a private funeral service on June 22nd. In light of the new findings, activist Quanell X told 11 he believes the young girl's mother, Brittany Bowen, should be held accountable for her daughter's death. So obviously the mother knew what was going on, and she was hiding stuff and tampering with evidence too. So she knew all about this. Another Susan Smith. She has to be, because she could have did a much better job in protecting the beautiful young baby, he said. Yeah, she could have did a lot, but she didn't. And now this little girl, sweet little girl, is gone. You know, she ain't never coming back. 4 years old, and that's why I don't get about that. Like, these children are starting to become young and young and young. and they're just killing these kids off. And we gotta start protecting these kids. When these kids say that they're being hit or they're being abused, don't take that lightly. Like, you should never take that lightly. People think that kids aren't aware of stuff and maybe they make up lies, but no. Most of these kids be telling the truth, and we just ignore them because we think they don't know nothing, they're too young. But we need to start listening to these kids, and if we start listening to these kids, we can save them. Because this is just ridiculous. Like, her mom had something to do with this too. Her mom was hiding stuff. And it seems like these women are always trying to take up for these men. You know, they put these men before their kids. It's crazy how this went down. Look how adorable she is, and now she's gone. So guys, this is pretty much the whole story about this. I might do an update to see what's going on, but basically I pretty much told you everything that's going on with this case. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe my channel. And if you see something, like I always say something. If you see something, say something, because you could save a little girl or a little boy's life. Thank you so much for joining me. I love you guys. Always thinking about you. Until next time, good night.